darkness, puppy darkness, thunder or lightning and baby shake.
So guys, if you've been following along with this whole adventure for the past, so our Mayas are probably gonna be over here the whole time for the past 9-10 months, you would know
We made a baby.
we made a baby. And she's the most beautiful, sweet,
You're
kind.
gonna make me cry already.
Always crying. Allie just looks at her and cries. And I'm not gonna lie,
Sorry.
me too.
Incredible thing.
She's just the most unbelievable miracle in the world. Now see, I'm gonna start crying.
She really is a miracle.
And she got the most beautiful eyes and the most beautiful hair. And she sleeps like Allie.
Well, we could go on for days about her in our little discoveries.
And I'm sure we will every day talk about how amazing she is. Look at the little grin.
No, she's so cute. But we thought today what we would do is really introduce her to, because we know that we have not released her name yet. We've been kind of secretive about that.
We wanted to make sure our entire family knew.
Yeah, and friends, well, because it's funny because we went back and forth so much. Not really back and forth. We always had this idea.
We had ideas, yeah.
But we just were kind of trying to keep it between us. Hi, boo boo. Hi, boo boo.
But yeah, we wanted to make sure that all our family and all our friends knew before we kind of did anything.
But it's kind of a name that we have always had in the back of our mind, and a name that we actually decided upon a really long time ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about this today. It was a name before I even got pregnant. It was amongst the talk of wanting children, and we always thought Char always wanted a girl first, and I was more than happy with whatever.
Yeah.
He was more than happy with whatever. But it was funny because when coming up with a name, we always kind of had a girl name in mind.
So much
At least the first
easier.
name. We always had a girl first name in mind.
And I felt like girl names were so much easier to come up with because we're like, all right, so if we were to have a baby, what we would name them. Everyone that I came up with, actually a girl's name. And then we're like, well, what about if we ever have a boy? I remember going through my head, and I couldn't think of a boy's name that I liked that much to
Well,
wear.
thank God.
Thank God we had a girl.
I think it was our second RV trip, and I want to say we were at the Grand Canyon. Or
Is that the
something.
second? Was that the second one? No, I think that was the first one.
Maybe it was the first one. then.
Whenever we went to the Grand Canyon, that's when it was.
So I guess it must have been the first one. We just had a lot of time when we had downtime when we were on the RV, and we got into a conversation about babies and when we were going to start, and what our plan was, and what we would name our kids if we had a boy or a girl. And this name was something that we tossed back and forth names. There's names that he said that I'm like, no way, and there's names that I said that he's like, no,
no
they would
way.
get made fun of.
That's one thing that I always did, and Allie kind of goofed around with me. It's like I would always go, all right, so if we name our child this, what could a kid actually say to make fun of that name? And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I know there's a lot of people
So we
out
eliminated things.
There was a lot of names that
there's a lot of-
Trippy's already an interesting last name, and as pretty much it is.
We tossed back and forth all these different names amongst each other. Some were traditional, some were non-traditional. It ended up being, hi baby, you smiling.
She keeps going.
You smiling. You smiling. It ended up being a name that I would consider to be more non-traditional.
Yeah.
I don't hear it often, and it was just to both of us. It seemed very fitting, but it was just such a beautiful name to us, and it was something that I don't know, it was when I said it out loud, we both looked at each other and we're
yes.
like, that sounds so wonderful. It was weird. It was just the stars aligned.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I also said this name to you, you're like, I feel like I've heard that, or you didn't even hear it before. I remember a couple months later, you're like, oh my God, I saw someone who was actually named that name.
Without further ado, her first name is Remy. Remi.
And we love it.
It's the most beautiful name in the world.
I love it. It made sense. It just made sense. And it was so funny because, we had all these other names in mind, and we kind of were tossing back and forth for a really long time about the first name, because everyone tells you you might
don't be solid on a name.
Yeah, because you might change your mind down the road. I think we kind of put that in our mind, that's how it should be. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day,
we didn't have any backups though, because we were that's what we really wanted.
We had other names that we liked, but we always went back to Remy. We always went back. We always thought that's who she was. We felt it before we even knew we had her, that her name was meant to be Remy.
I want to hold her hand. I love holding her hand.
We tried to find names that filled our hearts just as much as the name Remy did.
And then nothing,
we
just
couldn't.
nothing, yeah.
But we didn't really start thinking about these other names until obviously I got pregnant. And then once I found out what we were having, when we found out we were having a girl, then we were really like, well, we're still so stuck on Remy. We really love this name. But, you know, everyone's telling us we need to,
so we have to wait until she's born.
But like I said, nothing filled our hearts like Remy. Nothing made sense to us. We just, we felt it so deeply.
The minute she popped out, like, for me, the second I saw her, I was like, yeah, her name is Remy. And like, she looks like a Remy.
It is.
And it's just, we were thinking about like having a name that could be like a nickname and things like that.
Or shortened.
Or things like that. And I just thought having she just loves holding my hand. It's the most really adorable tearjerker kind of thing in the world. She's definitely our little Remy. And then Allie came up with another beautiful name for her middle name.
Mm-hmm. So for the middle name, that was harder for us. I think that was harder for us, and it was something that we couldn't figure out what made sense with her first name.
Flow. It's like one of those things.
As weird as this sounds, I didn't read it in a baby book. I didn't read it on something, you know, like an app or anything like that. I heard this particular name. I loved what it meant. I loved, you know, it's definitely not traditional in my mind. It's not traditional. I think it really represented the type of environment and positivity,
the free spirit,
in the free spirited that she's going to be. Yes, I saw the name Soleil, and Soleil, for those of you who don't know, it means sun. And I just, you know, I looked more into the meaning, and it's, you know, bright and happy and just positive and a positive light and all these wonderful, beautiful things. But we weren't sure we liked Remy Soleil. We weren't sure if the Soleil fit.
We felt like it was too much.
Yeah, too much for her. So I said, well, why don't we call her Remy Sol? S-O-L. So it's R-E-M-I-S-O-L.
Trippy.
Tara and I like looked at each other and we're like,
this is it.
That's her name. She's meant to be Remy Sol. So we figured that, I don't know, it just made sense. That was her name. And it, like I said, it's been a name that we've had for so long, and we've just been so in love with. And
I honestly, I would talk about it in her belly. I would say, hey Remy, how's it going? And Allie and I, at one point, we decided that we'd start calling her baby girl just in case, because, you know, people, that, and just in case, like, people put in our heads, like, maybe when you see her, she might not feel the same way.
And then also too, like, you have so many people outside that may dislike the name, you know, and we kind of were like, you know, we love it so much that we didn't want people to alter our judgment on what we wanted to name our child, and it just made sense. But, you know, Remy Sol Trippy, this is who she is, and we knew who she was.
This is the goofball that we have down here.
Sorry guys, we're like trying to hold back tears right now.
I honestly, I'll be like, it's really true. Like, honestly, like, dang it, talking about it more makes it even worse. We have her over there in a little rocker thing, and I'll just be literally, oh my God, this sucks. You always make me do this. I'll just literally walk by and see her and stop.
She's beautiful.
And yeah, just gorgeous.
She's your little Remy Sol.
Yep, she's my little daddy's girl. It was very hard to like kind of come up with an idea other than just kind of talk and say how we came up with it and everything. And every time I look at her little fingernails and the way she sleeps, which by the way is exactly like Allie sleeps. Yeah, there's a little, she puckers. There's so many little things that I honestly.
She does a lot that you do too.
Yeah, I know. Over the course,
we could go on for hours about the cute things that she does.
I want everyone to welcome Remy Sol Trippy to the world, and she is going to do. She's going to do amazing things.
It's okay. We're just really happy she's here, and we love you guys so much. We're just so thankful for all of you who kind of like followed along in this journey and got to see the ups and downs and the amazing times and, you know, the pivotal moments throughout the pregnancy up until the birth to the introduction of this beautiful
finding
girl.
out that she was a girl, finding out AD. How's it going, buddy? No, you can't come up. You gotta sit down. You gotta be careful.
The dogs love her so much.
They are so infatuated with her too. We just wanted to welcome Remy to the world, and introduced her officially to you guys. We thought it was time for you to meet.
To officially meet her.
Yes.
We've shown you her, but now it's time to officially
Remy,
meet her.
say hi.
And I would show you her a little
But
bit more.
she's a little milk drunk right now.
She's passed out. She's passed out,
But she's got the strongest grip in the world.
she's great.
She's amazing.
But we're gonna do like a labor story and a delivery story. But we thought it would really be a cool thing to kind of share with you, both of our sides, because even though I was in labor, he was there with me, and there was such, crazy moments for the both of us, and we thought it would be really great to share that. So if that's something you do want to see, make sure you do let us know in the comment section below.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take little Remy Soul Trippy, and we're going to take her, I think, on a little walk, and then we're gonna try and get to bed early tonight, because for those of you who are not new parents or are new parents or are parents at all, you know that sleep deprivation is real.
Although I gotta say, really fast, she is a pretty good sleeper.
She is.
She's pretty good, knock on wood. I know a lot of people say the first 2 weeks are perfect. We gotta grab it. Alright guys, we love you so much, and thank you for being a part of this journey and continuing to be part of this journey.
Until next time, as our bags under our eyes get bigger.
Alright guys, we love you. And Remy, say bye.
Say bye, Internet. Wave to them on my own time.
I don't have my SAG card.
Boop, boop. Say bye, Internet.
Alright, bye guys.
Love you.
See you later.
Bye, guys.